Welcome to the 2021 Breakfast with the Commissioner benefit. Please welcome Wilson County Cooperative Extension Director and a member of the Tobacco Farm Life Museum Board of Directors, Mr. Norman Harrell.
Good morning. My name is Norman Harrell. I'm a board member with the Tobacco Farm Life Museum, and I would like to thank you for joining us this morning. Please pray with me. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for this time that we can gather together and celebrate our Excellence in Agriculture Winter and our Innovative Young Farmer of the Year with the Tobacco Farm Life Museum. Thank you for leading and guiding us through this pandemic. And please continue to be with our healthcare providers and scientists who are taking care of us. Please continue to be with and bless our family farms who are working to provide the food and fiber for our great nation. Please continue to be with Commissioner Steve Troxler as he provides the leadership for agriculture in North Carolina. Lead us, guide us, and direct us. In your name I do pray. Amen.
Tobacco runs deep in the roots of some of our local farms. Please welcome Chairman of Tobacco Farm Life Museum Board of Directors and owner-operator of Weaver Farms, Miss Susan Ford.
Welcome to the Tobacco Farm Life Museum's 16th Annual Breakfast with the Commissioner benefit. I am Susan Weaver Ford, Chair of the Museum's Board of Directors and owner-operator at Weaver Farms in Kinley, North Carolina. It's truly an honor to gather with Commissioner Troxler, the museum sponsors, and many agriculture leaders each year to acknowledge two very deserving individuals. Each year, we acknowledge the Excellence in Agriculture Award, sponsored by Southern Bank and Trust. This award recognizes the significant impact of the award recipients' work in the field of agriculture here in North Carolina and their dedication to helping the farming community. The Innovative Young Farmer of the Year Award is sponsored by North Carolina Farm Credits and recognizes a young farmer who has taken significant steps to improve farming practices and promote agriculture. Each year, we also acknowledge the past award recipients and sponsors in our event program. However, this year the program is available online at our event website. And if you have not, please visit www.tobaccofarmlifemuseum.org and click on our Programs tab to access the Breakfast with the Commissioner benefit page. This year, the museum is entering our 38th year with hope because of our wonderful community of partners and the very mission that we work to preserve. Without our partners, we would not have been able to put this year's program together. Each of the award sponsors, Southern Bank and Trust, the North Carolina Farm Credits, the Department of Agriculture, and Farm Bureau have worked together to assist us in filming today's event. In addition, we would like to acknowledge the Southern Farm Show, the North Carolina Fairgrounds, and the Tobacco Growers Association of North Carolina for their annual donations to this benefit. We also want to mention that we appreciate the participation of those individuals in the Tobacco Short Course and more recently the Executive Farm Management Program who have attended our event. The Breakfast with the Commissioner benefit has grown in attendance over the years. The last 3 years we have had over 600 individuals present to honor the award recipients and the mission that the museum founders envisioned so many years ago. A vision of community, hard work, and dedication. But this year we had the opportunity to expand our reach, with your help of course, so that others can see that the agriculture community is about supporting and encouraging each other and working together to see things through to the end. We hope that you will grab some breakfast and join us for this year's exciting program, and we ask that you also share this video with others. Thank you.
Please welcome from the NC Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services, Commissioner Steve Troxler.
I'm pleased to be able to join you virtually for this annual Breakfast with the Commissioner fundraiser for the North Carolina Tobacco Farm Life Museum. I'm proud to be serving North Carolina in my 5th term as Agriculture Commissioner. I'm proud of the work we've done so far to grow our agricultural markets, preserve our farmland, protect our food supply, and build up to the next generation that ultimately will tell our story, much like the Tobacco Farm Life Museum tells the story of our fathers and grandfathers. This breakfast is one of those special events that I look forward to every year. While technology allows us to see one another, I would prefer to meet you all in person. I miss talking to people, seeing old and new friends, and the feeling of camaraderie that I experience with the farming community comes together. Hopefully, we are moving in a direction where that will soon be possible. I'm encouraged by the COVID vaccinations, but we still have a long ways to go to get vaccinations to everyone who wants and needs them. I want you to know that we're in a regular communication with state health officials advocating for priority status for agricultural workers. We continue to advocate for the need to protect these essential frontline workers. We know supplies are limited, but I remain hopeful that we will see production increase to meet the demand. Until more vaccine is available, we all need to remain vigilant in wearing a mask, practicing social distancing, and washing our hands. We are going to get through this, but it's not going to be a swift turnaround. 2020 provided us with a lot of lessons, a lot of challenges, and a lot of opportunity for growth. To be successful in agriculture means farmers have to recognize that the status quo won't work or isn't going to work. Armed with this knowledge, they must take a closer look at their operation, and then they must be willing to adapt and to adjust, sometimes very quickly. I can tell you that when the pandemic hit, I've never been prouder to see agriculture rise to the challenge. We immediately heard from farmers who wanted to be sure that they were recognized as essential workers. Our agriculture community dug in, adapted, and continued to do its job in supplying food and fiber. When the supply was disrupted with the temporary closures of restaurants, farmers, meat and food processors, grocery store employees, truckers, and all went about their business. It was and still is a very proud statement that agriculture is going to be here and you can count on us. To me, this message exemplifies the farm way of life, which is a big part of the story of the North Carolina Tobacco Farm Life Museum seeks to celebrate through its work. I'm proud that our state has a place that honors our tobacco and farming heritage. The museum's work ensures that there's a place for our grandkids and great-grandkids to learn and see how things used to be on the North Carolina tobacco farm. We are fortunate to have a place like the museum to highlight the impact, importance, and cultural significance of the tobacco industry to our state. Community support for this museum is extra important this year as COVID restrictions have limited attendance and fundraising opportunities. I want to thank each of you for your continued support of this museum's work. Executive Director Melody Worthington, along with the board members and museum staff, do a great job. I applaud their efforts for thinking outside the box for this year and finding ways to keep engagement with the museum through virtual field trips, camp in a box, Christmas Village drive-through, and at-home art projects. Agriculture has been the backbone of our state's economy since its earliest beginnings, and it's remained its economic engine. It makes me proud to tell people that agriculture and agribusiness is our #1 industry at $92.7 billion, and that this industry employs nearly a fifth of our workforce. I believe we will soon reach $100 billion in economic impact thanks to the continued investment in agricultural research, coupled with innovation in food manufacturing and food production. It bothers me when people talk about agriculture and agribusiness being an industry of the past. I would argue that nothing is more current or relevant than food production. Nothing. I mean, I enjoy eating 3 times a day, and I think most people do too. What farmers produce is a necessity, and this is a job that not everybody can do. Those are 2 of the reasons that I believe agriculture and agribusiness has a bright future ahead. The pandemic has highlighted many frontline workers whose jobs are too often overlooked. I believe it has highlighted the importance of our farmers, food processors, truckers, and grocery store clerks. Each one of these workers play a critical role in ensuring that we all have access to a safe and affordable food supply. As consumers learn more about our food supply network, I hope they gain a greater appreciation for those who make the food supply happen. I look ahead in 2021, we're going to get closer to the opening of the Agricultural Science Center in Raleigh. This combination lab and office space will serve the agricultural industry for many years to come through state-of-the-art veterinary and food safety labs and diagnostic equipment. It represents a tremendous investment in North Carolina agriculture, and I'm eagerly looking forward to the day when we have the completed lab and move in. I know you will be hearing more about this in the future. Finally, I want to say that I'm honored to be a part of North Carolina's dynamic agricultural community that includes many of you watching today. Our communities are stronger because of our dedicated farmers and agribusiness owners, and our state is better for many contributions. Our nation is strengthened by your commitment to be leaders in your industries, and our world is better for the products you produce and for your dedication to feed others. Thank you for your continued support and for making me proud to represent North Carolina farmers, agriculture, and agribusiness.
Here to introduce the Excellence in Agriculture Award, please welcome Chief Executive Officer of Southern Bank and Trust, Mr. Drew Covert, and presenter, Commissioner Steve Troxler.
Hello everyone, I am Drew Covert, the CEO of Southern Bank and Trust Company in Mount Olive. We always appreciate participating with the Breakfast with the Commissioner event, even though we've needed to do it virtually this year. Hopefully we'll all be back together again in person next year. Thank you to Commissioner Troxler for his continued leadership and bringing this helpful event to us all for the 16th time. Even though our bank has offices in Raleigh and larger communities, our headquarters and most of our offices are in agricultural communities in eastern North Carolina. Agriculture is a very big part of who we are as a company. Southern Bank appreciates being able to be associated with the Excellence in Agricultural Award for many years now, and it's important to us, especially this year in recognition of Dr. Blake Brown. Dr. Brown is not only a national leader with his work on the President's Council of Economic Advisors, but he is also an enormous contributor here at the state farming level community and also, of course, at NC State. With all that perspective, he is still very generous with his time. He has been kind enough to take his time and meet and grow agricultural leadership all over North Carolina. We still hear comments within our company of the time he spent with our bankers sharing his thoughts and perspective on the industry. Our company has been in agricultural communities and making agricultural loans since 1901. And there has never been a shortage of challenges in our industry, but it's also never been more important to our nation or our state, or for that matter, the world. And we continue to make terrific progress because of the leadership like that that's brought to us by Dr. Brown. Congratulations to Dr. Brown on this very well-deserved recognition.
Every year at the North Carolina Tobacco Farm Life Museum fundraiser, I have the honor of recognizing the Excellence in Agriculture Award winner, which is sponsored by Southern Bank and Trust. This year, it is my honor and pleasure to present this award to Dr. Blake Brown of NC State University. I've had the privilege of knowing and working with Blake Brown for many, many years, and Blake, if you don't mind, I'm not going to say how many. He is well known in agricultural circles for his economic insights into North Carolina's agricultural industry. He has spent much of his career working on farm policy, particularly tobacco policy. One of the biggest and perhaps most significant policy projects was the $9.6 billion federal tobacco buyout program. This program enabled many tobacco growers to either retire while others transitioned into different crops or improved their tobacco operations. This move helped us usher in greater crop diversification in the state of North Carolina. As a former tobacco farmer, I know I always was interested in what his take on the tobacco front was, and I appreciated his work with the tobacco buyout program. This was significant for North Carolina tobacco farmers, North Carolina agriculture, and North Carolina's rural communities. Dr. Brown frequently joins us at our annual Agricultural Development Forum to highlight what he sees on the horizon for North Carolina agriculture. His work also attracted the attention of the White House. As a part of a special assignment, he recently served as a senior economist for the Council of Economic Advisors in the Executive Office of the President. Because of his expertise, he's been called on to testify before the House and City Committees on Agriculture on numerous occasions. At NC State University, he also developed the Executive Farm Management Program, a business management program focused on the needs of commercial farms. And Blake, I think we worked on a tobacco buyout for about 12 years, and I cannot even count on both hands how many times we were told it's never going to happen.
That's right.
But it did happen, and I think history will never figure out how we did it, because it was a remarkable achievement for North Carolina. And Blake, I remember, I know you've been active in showing at the agricultural fairs across North Carolina, and I think you started with goats.
A long time ago, my son with goats when we lived here in Wake County, so that's right.
And I remember the story that you told me about getting up one morning and your herd of goats were on the top of a neighbor's minivan, and the hooves of the goat and the top of the van didn't marry very well.
No, I didn't marry very well with that goat either. It got back in the field really quick, so that's right.
But you've had a very diversified career in agriculture and agricultural economics. You've done more for agriculture in this state and farmers than I can even get into. So I want to just thank you for all the hard work that you put in on our behalf. And I am so pleased, it's my pleasure to present you with this Excellence in Agriculture Award for this year. Thank you, Blake.
Thank you, Commissioner. I appreciate it very much. So it's truly an honor and a privilege, and I'm very humbled by the fact that I would be honored with this award. I thank you very much. I thank you to the Tobacco Farm Life Museum, and it's just been my pleasure for over 30 years now to work with North Carolina farmers, and I've had the pleasure of working with farmers in every county of the state, and in every walk from small farmers to big farmers, and I have to say that's what makes me tick, is being able to produce something that I think is of value to the farmers of North Carolina. And I thank my family. I've got my wife here with me today. I thank her and my family for putting up with me and traveling and doing all this work with farmers all these 30-some years. But thank you very much. It is truly an honor. I appreciate it.
And I thank you for the sacrifice of being in Washington, D.C.
It was, it was an adventure, and we enjoyed it, and again, I don't know that I'd do it again, but I'm glad I got to do it once. So, thank you.
Thank you, Blake.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Now, to introduce the Innovative Young Farmer of the Year Award, please welcome Chief Executive Officer of Carolina Farm Credit, Mr. Vance C. Dalton Jr., and presenter, Commissioner Steve Troxler.
Well, it's my privilege to recognize the 2021 Innovative Young Farmer of the Year, and that award this year goes to Harrison Jenkins. Harrison and his father operate a very diverse row crop and livestock operation in Stony Point, North Carolina, which is just outside of Statesville. They farm corn, soybeans, wheat, hay, have 5 broiler breeder houses, Katahdin sheep, zebu cattle, alpacas, and meat rabbits. Oh, and in his spare time, he's a full-time ag teacher at Statesville High School. Harrison has demonstrated his innovative nature through a diversification of the traditional corn production operation to a more value-added product that is now sold as wildlife feed. When they faced lower commodity prices, they sought new markets and began bagging and marketing their corn as wildlife feed. They're also beginning an agritourism opportunity for their farming operation. Another great indication of his innovative nature is that he and his father do strategic planning for the farm. They set specific business goals, they gather data, and they monitor their progress. We know from experience that operations that plan, set goals, and then monitor their progress like this are more successful and sustainable into the future. Harrison is a great leader and advocate for agriculture and the industry. I think it's awesome that someone of his character and that has so passionate about agriculture is teaching young people today. He's obviously has an amazing work ethic in accomplishing all that he does. On behalf of the Farm Credit Associations of North Carolina, congratulations, Harrison Jenkins, on being named this year's Innovative Young Farmer of the Year.
It is my honor this year to present the 2021 Innovative Young Farmer of the Year Award, sponsored by Farm Credit of North Carolina. I teach classes at NC State and A&T State University, and I can tell you that we have a lot of very smart and hardworking young people interested in careers in agriculture. Some even operate their own farms, even while attending college, and several have reminded me of myself at that age when I was both farming at home in the summertime and attending college at NC State University. I appreciate the drive and commitment it takes to have a successful farming career, but the benefits of being able to work for yourself and the knowledge that you're producing food and fiber for the world is very rewarding. So I am pleased to get to present this award today and to do it for several years. This year, the Innovative Young Farmer of the Year honor goes to Harrison Jenkins of Statesville. Harrison Jenkins is an agriculture teacher at Statesville High School, and he's also a partner in Westward Farms with his father, Tracy. This family farm started as a dairy farm in the early 1900s by Harrison's great-grandfather, and this makes him the fourth generation to farm this land. Today, the farm produces corn, soybeans, wheat, hay, poultry, and other livestock, and even including meat rabbits and sheep. Westward Farm also offers agritourism opportunities on the farm, which Harrison helps overseas and hopes to expand in the future. When commodity prices were low, Harrison looked for ways to add value for what they were producing and came up with the idea of selling bagged corn as wildlife feed. I understand it's been a great addition to their operation, including the bottom line. In fact, Harrison is anticipating record sales of wildlife feed this year. Harrison is also active in his community, serving as president of the Iredell County Young Farmers and Ranchers and a member of the Iredell County Farm Bureau. He is also active with the North Carolina Agricultural Teachers Association and the North Carolina Farm Bureau. He is a graduate of North Carolina State University with a bachelor's degree in agricultural education. It sounds like he has a lot on his plate, but I understand he worked on the family farm throughout college as well. That commitment exemplifies his passion for agriculture. I've always tried to figure out what attracts people to agriculture, so when it's your turn to speak, I got several questions I'd like for you to address. Where did this passion come from? When did you decide that agriculture is what you wanted to do in life, and what kind of rewards have you seen being in agriculture? So with that said, I want to present you with the 2021 Innovative Young Farmer of the Year to Mr. Harrison Jenkins.
Thank you, Commissioner. Agriculture's always been in my life, and growing up there's nothing else I ever wanted to do. My parents always said that they wouldn't care if I wanted to be a doctor or a lawyer or if I wanted to come home to a farm, and luckily I did. I've always dreamed of coming back home to the family farm. And I'm glad that's something I can do, and I hope to progress that through future generations. And so as we've incorporated the wildlife feed, it was something interesting to start. My dad wasn't so sure about it at first, and as we started small, it was a lot more labor intensive, and as it progressed, we had to incorporate new technologies. I actually built our first bagger machine, and that did about 10,000 bags, and that was still tough. So we were able to purchase a new machine this past year, which really sped it up and really made it a lot easier on our backs. So that's been a lot of fun. Young farmers, I just want to give the advice of be open to new things and really have conversations with your parents or with whoever is managing the farm or whoever has influence in what the farm does. and work with them, have the tough conversations, and be open with them and let them be open with you. Know the realities, know what's really coming down the pipeline. Are you able to come back home to the farm after school, or do you need to give it some time and help build things up? Because that's what I'm doing right now. My proudest moment as an ag teacher, I'm an ag teacher at an urban school where the students don't really know much anything about agriculture. And the first couple months I was an ag teacher there, I brought a little baby sheep to school, a little lamb. And lamb just follows you around, so I was walking up down the hallways of this urban school with a lamb, and students come out of the hallway seeing something walking up down through there, and they say, what kind of dog is that? And they were completely honest in that question. So being able to expose them that, and even some teachers were asking what kind of dog it was. So that was a really enlightening moment where I knew I was making an impact in teaching things to people that they really need to know. Sheep go by, cows go moo. So that was probably my proudest moment so far. And I really appreciate this award. It means a lot. I got my wife here. She's been very supportive of me. And I want to thank my parents for being so open for the new ideas I've had coming home to the farm, and for being open to let me change things and let me work with them as we progress the farm. So it's been a great ride, and I really enjoy agriculture. I really enjoy what we do on the farm and teaching ag, and I hope to continue all of that in some way, shape, or form in the future and for future generations. So thank you.
Harrison, it's inspiring to meet a young farmer like you, but even more inspiring to meet somebody that is teaching agriculture to people, like you say, that probably don't have a clue about what agriculture is. So I thank you for that, and I wish you much success both in the classroom and the farm.
Thank you.
And now for a special presentation by the NC Farm Bureau.
You really just can't grasp how important that tobacco heritage was to young people, to families, to North Carolina. And I think that's why this museum is so important, and the story that they tell.
It's just got the rich history of Eastern North Carolina and tobacco in it. The cousin that started this museum, or had the idea for this museum, Suzanne Bailey, wanted to be sure that the way she had grown up, born in tobacco and living on farm here in Wilson County, would be remembered. And because things were changing, and back in the 70s and 80s, she saw so much change in agriculture, and she just wanted to be sure that this way of life was preserved. Tobacco was the cash crop. I mean, that is what the primary crop was that fed your family for the year. And I just think as tobacco began to wane in this area and in the nation, it's just so important to remember where you have come from and how important tobacco was in this way of life, not wasting anything, using community neighbors to farm.
The young people got to work together in the community, and as young people, in the summertime when you're out of school, you're always looking for an opportunity to see each other. And so actually working in tobacco was a great time for us, and certainly with hard work, and some of it you didn't always enjoy, but you look forward to seeing the kids, seeing the friends in the neighborhood. Certainly has changed over time, but for so many of us, it was the way we got to college, it was the way that we got an education. It just was woven into everything that happened in our family.
Steve Troxler has supported this museum from the onset, and we are just so grateful. Without that fundraiser that we have with his Commissioner's Breakfast, which is the largest fundraiser that the museum has in the whole year, we could not keep the doors open. If you are coming to the Commissioner's Breakfast, you have tobacco interest in your history, and you have this museum is core interest in mine and your history. So I would just ask you to support the museum and continue this so generations to come can just see how important tobacco is and this in the history of Eastern North Carolina.
Blake's one of those just down-home kind of guys, and when he sits with farmers and talks with them, he just does an outstanding job of relaying business information, which is what you know, so many farmers, we need to hear that. And I just think he's super respected, and what a great person to honor. He's smart, but he also has a very personable attitude, and he has a farm, so he understands farming. And I think that's what's great about Blake. And I love the name of the award, the Innovative Farmer of the Year, because I think that is so important as our young people go back into agriculture. Is what's the niche? What's the place that's going to make us different? Yeah, this year's award, Harrison Jenkins family, great farm family, great farm in Iredell County. And when you look at their website, you just see that these are innovative farmers. And agritourism now, where so many farms are inviting people onto the farm. And so that just does exactly what we talk about all the time at Farm Bureau, just bridging the gap between the average North Carolinian and the farmer here. And so they understand, okay, this is a family, they're working together on their farm. And it really sets the tone for what we talk about so much in agriculture.
Last, but certainly not least, your Executive Director of the Tobacco Farm Life Museum, Miss Melody Worthington.
Hello, my name is Melody Worthington. I am the Executive Director at the Tobacco Farm Life Museum here in Kinley, North Carolina. Thank you for joining us today. This year has challenged us all to explore what exists off the beaten path. Something that I can imagine our farmers enjoy doing more than most. This exploration is not just causing us to look at new solutions and meeting new challenges, but also giving us a lesson in taking a moment to stop and enjoy the blessings. Thanks to the museum's close proximity to I-95 and the relationship we have with the agriculture community, we see many international visitors each year. In 2019, Graham Boyd, with the Tobacco Growers Association of North Carolina, brought a small group of visiting farmers from South America to the museum. For most of the tour, they explained how the equipment in the gallery was considered modern technology to them. For example, the 1950s Alice Chalmers tractor and the cast iron stove were a luxury where they lived. But probably the most surprising moment was when they explained that they did not have an opportunity to attend a one-room schoolhouse until one was built in their community in 1970. As another international visitor once expressed while viewing the winnower in our gallery, Americans are so ingenuitive. I am amazed that American agriculture has developed as fast as it has. I know this is because our farmers and agriculture partners are clever, inventive, and cooperative, seeing a need and making sure it's met. This year, I have seen farmers rise above the challenges and work together to make sure people are fed and needs were met. Thank you. I cannot thank our sponsors enough for their continued support in 2020. The museum board, staff, and volunteers have stepped up to the challenges and accomplished many things this year. They worked together with our partners and utilized our resources to the best of their ability. Thanks to everyone's efforts, we were able to serve the public and meet our mission to preserve and present the history and heritage of the rural farming community. The museum has continued to grow in 2020 through online and social media programs that are available on Facebook, our YouTube channel, Sharing Our Heritage, and on our website. Some of the programs include virtual art classes for the Stepping into the Past Saturday series, new blog posts, and virtual school tours. The staff has continued to work with the University of Mount Olive, the North Carolina Department of Agriculture, and the North Carolina Division of Soil and Water Conservation to complete an updated exhibit. We are excited to be installing the exhibit in the upcoming weeks. While programs in 2020 may have looked different, we are encouraged that we were able to continue programs. Programs such as the Ag Camp, sponsored by Duke Energy. We were able to distribute 50 Ag Camp in a Box programs, offering 4 unique educational themes with crafts, games, and virtual content. And thanks to the help of the Kinley Area Chamber of Commerce, Town of Kinley, and promotions through the Johnston County Visitors Bureau, we were able to present a drive-through Christmas program that brought in 1,600 people to the area. As we look to the future, we hope to offer more comprehensive history of our farmers, their challenges, their major achievements, and their individual stories. We will accomplish this through new exhibits, increased online content, and group tours. This trend has already started in some of our newer exhibits, like the new Soil and Water Conservation exhibit and our workshop exhibit. We continue to follow in our founders' footsteps to share with the public agriculture's significant impact on our lives. Normally, when visitors stop by, we are not used to talking about modern technology, as with the farmers from South America. And most of the time, visitors from all over the globe can relate to 1 or 2 of the items in the gallery from their formative years. But as an agriculture museum located in 2 agriculture counties and built by farmers, the Tobacco Farm Life Museum does not just connect the public to the history of agriculture, but we also share the current challenges, trends, and accomplishment of our farmers. We are grateful to be able to work alongside you and tell your story. We are very thankful for all of our sponsors and the individuals who continue to contribute to the mission and work at the Tobacco Farm Life Museum. While it is not a problem unique to the museum, our annual income saw a significant decline in 2020, but we were able to pull through because of your support. If you would like to contribute to the work that is being done, you can make a donation on our website at tobaccofarmlifemuseum.org/donate. We hope that you will continue to partner with us as we face new challenges and opportunities. As a nonprofit organization, we rely on these partnerships to move forward and seek individuals who would like to volunteer with projects, tours, and more. We look forward to visiting with you soon. Thank you.